Good evening and welcome to another episode of Fan Experience TV. Thank you for those that are coming back, and thank you for all of you that are tuning in for the first time. My name is Mike Katos, and alongside me is my co-host Rick Molina. Rick, how we doing? Episode 88.
Episode 88, man. We're doing well. We got a little Yankee baseball going on. Got a little Islander hockey, a little NBA playoffs. We got a little, little brouhahas going in the NFL with certain players wanting to move and not going to OTAs. There's a lot going on. But I think we got to start with the Yankees, man. And I think this, just thinking about this, they've been in a slump. They haven't been playing well. They've lost. And all of a sudden, Josh Donaldson comes out with this comment about Garrett Cole's, having pine tar or sticky substance in the ball. Garrett Cole has an awkward press conference when he's asked about it. And I think all of a sudden this kind of could be a galvanizing thing to light a fire under the Yankees and go out there and prove to people. And I think that's what the Yankees have been missing, just a kick in the ass, to get things going. And this might have just done it. This might have done a spark. And I don't know about you, but, Pete Alonso coming out saying that depending on the free agents, they're doctoring the ball. So a lot going on. But I think as far as the Yankees go, this might have been something to start get them going over here.
Yeah, I mean, I think our guest on Monday might have attributed to that kick in the ass that they needed. She did not hold back.
Danny was not happy.
Hey, and they're 1-0 since then. So we'll just chalk it up as that helped. But yeah, I mean, they're going into Minnesota, and you have to beat, you have to win these types of games, and they came out with one yesterday. Mm-hmm. So it's obviously a step in the right direction. They need to do it with a lot more consistency. Right now, they are up 2-0, I believe. But it's early in the game because it's a later start. Mm-hmm. So I mean, they just have to keep plugging away and try to get those bats going. Keep that pitching, at the top of the rotation, semi-consistent. Obviously Garrett Cole got shellacked a couple of nights ago, and you want to just keep that momentum riding high. And but let's talk about we have my Mets. They faltered a little bit. I mean, it's talking about you have to win these types of games, and they're playing the Orioles. And last night they got whooped big time by the Orioles. And the Mets are just known to do this. They just lose to the teams that they're not supposed to be losing to. But whatever. It's one loss. They're up big right now. Matt Harvey on the mound for the Orioles today. Alonso hit his second home run in as many days. Pilar hit a 3-run shot.
Yeah.
Harvey's on the hook for 3 innings pitched, 8 hits, 7 earned runs, 2 home runs. Walk allowed and only 2 strikeouts in 3 innings. So Harvey, I mean, I don't know. Is he's not the Dark Knight that he once was.
No, that was 6-7 years ago.
I mean, it's really tough to see how far he fell from grace in just a few years.
Well, he got hurt, age. He's
not that old. I mean,
Brom's
older than him.
Well, and also
Brom's older than Harvey.
I don't know. I just think Harvey, the New York life just got to him. Partied hard and. It just wore them out. But, the Mets, listen, they're chugging along. The Mets are doing a lot of talking, though, and they're really more about what's going on with the spin rates and baseballs and all that. Again, with Alonso saying that the balls are doctored by Major League Baseball. They don't want to blame the players. And, they need to stick to playing ball. Alonso needs to stick to playing ball. Worry about the NFL East.
NFC, The NFL East,
NL East. Worry about that instead of the spin rates on baseball.
No, of course, but I mean, if he's asked a question, he has to answer.
No, I know, but I think,
for the most part, or you could just go and do it like the Patriot route. We're on to the next game.
But it's now it's conspiracy theories and all this stuff. I mean, it's just
of course. I mean, but you know what? What else can we talk about in baseball? You need to talk about these things. Well, actually, one thing Ohtani is just a beast.
Oh, he's crushing everything, man.
He's got, what is he at now? 17
home runs. Yeah.
And 470-foot bomb to dead center yesterday. It just went out in a hurry, 111 miles an hour. It just, the guy, he's showing up every which way.
Him and Trout out there are just are doing their thing. But
I mean, Ohtani with a huge home run, and he rounded the bases. But another team, which is the same team as just a couple of weeks ago, where they could not get a force out at first base because they couldn't step on the base. The Pittsburgh Pirates, one of the players hit a home run and was rounding first base and missed it completely. The Dodgers challenged. It was ruled he did not touch first base, and he was called out.
I mean,
what can the Pirates figure out how to put a foot on first base?
Is it the Pirates, the Pittsburgh Pirates, or the Bad News Bears out there? I mean,
they have the same colors, so it's not.
You can't get any lower than that. I mean, I thought that play at home plate was bad, but
the Javi Baez one.
Yeah, but you hit a home run and you forget to step on the bag, man. Like, wow.
I mean, at least in this instance, it was just one player making a mistake.
No, I get it. But
in the one 2 weeks ago, there was 4 players involved in that huge mistake.
No, I get it. But I mean, the guy. I mean, how do you miss the bag? Like, you should know, man. Like,
you gotta.
What do you say?
Exactly. What do you say? You can't. But it's frustrating to see it coming from the same team that just got humiliated a couple of weeks ago for doing something that you should never do, and then went and did something you should never do again. Literally, you're given a run. All you got to do.
They lost.
I mean, obviously, the hard part is hitting it over the fence.
Absolutely,
and
that's
and then the easy part is just simply touching the bags.
I mean. Bro, I don't know.
You have all the time in the world to do it.
I don't know what to tell you. Like, like how does that? I just don't know how that happens. I really don't. Like, that's not one of those your brain froze. Like, you missed. Like, the point of baseball was you're running the bases is to touch the base. Like, you have to step on the base. Like, it's almost like they avoided the bag. He was afraid. Like, what's going on over there?
I can't even put words on it. I really can't. I mean, nobody really can. It's something that you never see. The Islanders just went up 3-1. By the way,
they just went up 3-1. The Nassau Coliseum.
They're in late second right now. 2 minutes left, crazy. I believe.
Yeah.
So yeah, the Coliseum is rocking right now. Yeah. I was stuck in some of that traffic getting home from work earlier.
That's all right.
But it's worth it, right? I'm here on time, so that's all that matters.
And the thing is, good for the Islanders. This is good for Long Island. Hopefully they'll find a home eventually somewhere. But
they have that one in the Belmont.
So hopefully
over there. Which I mean, the renderings are really nice. So I definitely.
I drove by there in May when I went to the Greek Easter. So.
Yeah, because you take the Cross Island.
Yeah, and that's to the Southern States. So things are turning up over there. So
yes, It every time I drive past it, it's definitely looking. Now I heard something where our guest is not backstage yet, so we'll keep talking.
Yeah.
So I heard that the online betting should be coming soon. I think the sports books that are going to be coming in for New York, they have to they pretty much have to put in their request or application into New York, consult New York or whatever by I believe July 1st.
Yeah.
So
let me ask you this: do you think is it gonna be like? Do you think it'll be like the FanDuel? It's like a bar and you can go chill there and all that stuff, or?
Well, no. This is strictly for the online. Like we already have the in-person ones. Yeah. We have 4 of them upstate.
Yeah.
I don't think that they're opening up brick and mortar sports books.
Yeah.
just
So when
yet.
is
I mean,
so
obviously,
the one that
if they ramp this thing up,
so the one at MetLife is
well, that's Jersey. So
sorry, Jersey. Yeah, that is that like, but you can go there and like hang out or whatever, right?
I honestly I have never visited.
Okay.
I
'Cause I
don't
got
know if
friends who
it's
go
an
there all the time.
actual. I don't know if it's an actual like quote unquote like bar, like where you
Okay.
could just sit down and. But Jersey has a whole bunch of those. I know
Yeah,
that.
they
I
do.
just never like William Hills. Like a lot of the William
Yeah.
Hill locations usually have them. Mostly like sitting there at the at the tracks. A lot of them.
Yeah.
But I don't know about the one in MetLife.
Oh.
I don't know if they have like a standalone
I
like
could've-
bar
I-
separate from it.
I thought my friends who go there religiously, give a shout out to them. They said that they have. I think it's like it's like a bar and stuff like that. Eventually, that's what it is. So, I mean, that'd be nice if they did that at the Belmont. I mean, that'd be another place to go, watch games, have some.
Well,
drinks.
that would be a great moneymaker.
Yeah.
I mean, right there, right in the middle of the Cross Island. So it's not like into Queens. It's not into Long Island. Like kind of a happy medium for everybody.
Yeah, exactly.
And everyone can meet in the middle. They can go and play some bets. They can go and have some drinks. And I mean, that's a win-win. If I was calling the shots there, and I mean, the New York really, they're charging an arm and a leg for any sports book that wants to get in. Like they have to pay, hundreds of millions of dollars just to even have the opportunity to do it. But the sports books are going to make that money back.
Yeah, well, they want to make that revenue, obviously, and everybody's going to.
And they will.
And everybody's going to Jersey now is going to go over there. But I think that'd be great if they had a sport. If they did it at the Belmont, if they had eventually I think it's just these things are going to be in stadiums, man. MetLife, or they'll have a place like within MetLife to go there and make a bet and hang out, watch a game, something like that. Like here, let's say City Field, you can do it at what's that bar again?
It's closed. McFadden's.
McFadden's, yeah.
Is it McFadden's?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Oh, they closed it?
I think it was. I thought it was like McCarthy's for some reason.
No, it's McFadden's. Damn,
but they did close it. They did close it. I don't know if it was COVID related. I assume that it played into it.
Well, here's the thing about that place. I mean, it was popping during baseball season. You get 50,000 people in the stadium going to the bars. That's good. And then you got 6 months with nothing's going on over there. It's tough to run a business, right? So, but good times there in McFadden's. Well, hopefully they'll open it up. It's not like going to Yankee Stadium. You got Billy's over there. You got those 4 or 5 bars over there. That's like a party every time you go watch a game. So it's pretty cool.
Yes, absolutely. So our guest has just signed on. So right now we're going to welcome young Keagan Brown to the show.
What's
up?
How
you doing, Keagan?
Doing pretty well, yeah.
What's up, Keagan? What's going on, man?
Awesome. Thank you for coming on. It's a pleasure to have you on.
Of course, man. Of course.
So I guess tell us a little about yourself. Like I know you are you're 14 years old and you're trying to make it in road racing. So I guess talk to us a little bit about how it all started and like why where you fell in love with road racing to begin with.
Yeah, so about 8 years ago, my dad had the idea to slap me on a little dirt bike, as pretty much any kid around here where I grew up would do. We all start just riding little bikes around our yards, and he had a lot of buddies that would go off and do, they didn't really race, but they went and rode track days and stuff on the full size road courses. And he had the idea to take me over to this kart track in Virginia at VIR. And I just really took a liking to it. And I've been, getting better and growing and working harder every year. And at the beginning at the end of last year, I got the call from Barcon Racing. They wanted me to come race for them this year. And so I went pro. So yeah, all that hard work kind of paid off this year.
Yeah, no, I mean, congratulations. Like it's great to see you, going out there. And I saw that 14 is really the youngest that you're able to go pro, correct?
Yeah, so with Moto America, which is the premier racing league in America right now, The minimum age you have to be to race in the junior cup class is 14. I think the maximum is 27 or so. You're in your 20s, yeah.
Mhm.
Keegan, so how many races did you race in before this company, they saw you and they said, you know what, we want to sign that kid. We want that kid to go pro.
I don't know, man. Over the years, I don't know how many races I've been in. I know last year we kind of went full in with club racing, and I did around 50 races, and we actually, or 52 races, we actually did some statistics, and I think 48 out of those 52 I either won or placed in.
Wow.
So yeah, last year was a crazy year because of COVID and all that stuff. It kind of lumped a bunch of races into like 6 months. So
Yeah.
And the people you're racing with are your age and obviously older. And how many bikes are within a race? So like we up here, obviously in New York, we don't really see that much. But how many bikes are within a race?
I'd say the average like group of people in a race is probably from, we can have really small races where there's like only 8 people, and I think in Moto America, the Junior Cup class, the first Junior Cup race that we had was 19 people.
Okay.
Race, and that's a small grid for Junior Cup, and they're supposed to be at least 20 and over easily, and then as you go up through the ranks in Moto America, those grids keep on growing. So yeah, I think the Superbike, which is the top level of Moto America, has easily over 25 people in that race.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, we got our friend over here, Mr. Matt Wolf, commenting, Team Keagan. Thank you very much, Matt, for introducing us. It's a pleasure to have Keagan on, and thank you as always, Matt. So I guess talk to tell us and a little bit of to our audience, like, what exactly is road racing? Is it on a track? Is it is there both on dirt paths with hills and valleys and whatever, or just tell us a little bit about what like a typical race is like.
Yeah, so road racing, obviously, it's all on paved road, and especially with Moto America, since it's the premier, we race on the same tracks that you'd see NASCAR race road courses on, or tracks like the same tracks that Formula One races on. And so yeah, it's all paved. It's like I said, the grids are about 20 people, and we go out, and I think the average race for Junior Cup right now is around 12 to 14 laps, and just go out, send it, and whoever comes on top wins.
Awesome. So Matt made you custom limited edition trading cards with all of your race stats.
Yeah,
through Ticket Time Machine. Perfect. You got it already. That's great to see. So this is episode 88 of Fan Experience TV, and 88's pretty big in the racing world, I would probably say. Is there anybody that you looked up to, whether it's in the road racing or in NASCAR itself, and is that something that you want to strive for, when you are old enough to actually, drive a car? Because you're not even there yet. So
yeah, I think someone I really look up to just in the racing community is a guy by the name of Josh Heron. I grew up watching him race, and he's still racing and doing really well this year, but I grew up watching him, and he's just a super likable guy, and I talk about him all the time, but it's crazy because he's a little bit older. I think he's well into his 30s. Well, I don't know. I don't want to make him angry, but I think he's well into his 30s. And
he's a little bit older than you. I mean, that's not saying, that's not calling him old.
But by the racing standards, he should be, at towards the end of his career. But I think at VIR, which was the past round with Moto America, he actually placed top 3. And so just to see him doing that well and doing it for so long, and, just the Moto America community loves him. The fans absolutely love him just because he's such a likable guy. And I think that that's just my goal, to just, do the best I can for as long as I can, and just, be this kind of personality while being quick at the same time.
Keegan, I'm looking at the Motor America site and I see all these bikes and stuff. Here's my. How are you not like? I see a motorcycle, I can never get on a bike. Like I'm afraid. Like, how do you like get on the bike and not worry about the fear or anything like that?
Well, from someone who has experienced a lot of fear just in this past weekend, we're all, the fastest motorcycle racer out there is gonna be scared to go out and race. It's just how you use it. Like I was this past race with Moto America, I was terrified. It was my first race ever in the pro series, and but you just gotta get in that mindset of to finish first, you must first finish, and what everyone's always told me and what I've always thought about is the reason I ride is for fun. Right. It doesn't matter if I come first or last. If I'm having fun, I'm doing it right. So yeah, you got to push that fear kind of aside and go out and do what you love.
And you do all those banks and turns and all that stuff. I mean, tell us what's going through your mind as you're like going through those speeds and you're turning in that route.
Well, up until recently, pretty much nothing. When I used to ride, I just didn't think about anything, and I actually found that if I would think about stuff, I'd be slower or end up in the dirt. But at the beginning of this year, I've gotten the chance to work with a lot of legends in the sport, and it's crazy. Every time they're riding, they're thinking in their mind, they're dissecting every corner into 3 points, A, B, and C. And so I've been really working on that. Just every time I'm going into a turn, I need to brake here, turn in here, get on the gas here. So that's pretty much all that's going in my mind. I mean, I'd be lying if I wasn't like, oh crap. Yeah, I try to keep my mind pretty clear when I'm riding.
Yeah, no, it's amazing to see, what you've accomplished and you're just starting out. So here, I have one little picture here I want to share just to kind of show everybody what Rick was talking about here. So it's like here, you're on your side right here,
man.
And, what's going through your head there? That's that looks terrifying to me, as Rick said.
Yeah, that's actually one of my practice bikes, and that's a good photo, but I like to brag about this photo a lot. There's a photo of me last year on my actual race bike, and I'm fully leaned over, which is about 60 degrees of lean angle, and I'm dragging my elbow on the ground, but still looking. It's crazy. Like when I'm in the turn and really focused, I'd say that I pretty much don't have anything going through my mind. It's because like the second that you lose focus from just riding and start thinking about, well, I kind of missed my line here. Maybe I should fix that next time. It distracts you, and then you're not hitting the next point. So yeah.
No, I mean it's obviously always it's a learning curve, and you're just starting out. So the fact that you started so early, the sky's really the limit for you. Talk to us a little bit about. So you're in North Carolina, correct?
Yep, pretty much dead in the center of North Carolina.
So what is, what's the atmosphere like there? You guys, obviously you have the Panthers, you got, you got hockey that's, doing very well right now. And you got all these professional sports teams there, but obviously we know down South and Midwest and everything, it's all about racing. So what is it like around, where you live, and how about like the kids in your school? Like, do any of them compete like you? And what do they, think about you going pro in this career here?
Yeah, it's definitely different. A lot of since we're in North Carolina, there's a lot of dirt ovals and NASCAR kind of stuff. So we get a lot of funny looks when I say that I'm a motorcycle racer, because pretty unusual where I'm from. There's a lot of kids who just grow up playing baseball or basketball, and that's kind of just what they do. And then I come along, I'm like, I like motorcycles. Yeah. But as far as like kids go, I don't think there's anyone in my school who rides. I know it's crazy. There's me. I race pro, but then one of my best friends, he's actually a professional archer. Wow. So it's pretty diverse here, actually. Besides, there's a lot of kids who want to go race NASCAR and a lot of kids who want to play baseball. But like it, one of the things I get a lot is when I tell people that I race motorcycles, they're like, "Oh, so you race motocross? You race dirt, right?" And it's like, "No." "Oh, so you race quads?" "No." So yeah, we get a lot of that, but it's pretty cool just kind of being my own thing. I know there's a couple other kids that are going pro this year from North Carolina, so it's cool because North Carolina in the past hasn't really been a great place to come up and ride in. You haven't seen a lot of names, come up through our program. But yeah, it's cool to kind of be in that wave of riders from NC.
So that's awesome. But I'm just trying to get my head around, like, you're not allowed, like, what is the legal driving age in North Carolina for a car? Like, isn't motorcycle, to have a license to drive a motorcycle, wouldn't you have to be the same age? I mean, it's 16 up here for your permit, so I don't know what it is in North Carolina. You tell me.
Yeah, it's 16 here, and it's the same for motorcycle too. It's just you can buy a motorcycle, you just can't ride on the street if you're under 16. So riding bigger bikes and full-size motorcycles, I've only been doing that for about 2 years now. But ever since I was little, we just take dirt bikes and we slap some road tires on it and go race. And that's what a lot of kids do. But then once you get around, 10 or 11 and you start, growing to your adult size, I guess, you're going to have to start getting on these bigger bikes and then continuing, growing on full-size motorcycles. So it's definitely a learning curve. But we get asked this all the time, why would you let your kid ride? There's a reason you have to have a license to race a motorcycle. Yeah. And motorcycle racing, despite, you see all these injuries, it's one of the safest things out there because you're all going the same direction. You're all on specialized equipment with specialized gear. There's not a lot that can go wrong, that would end in just chaos. You can crash, you can get hurt, yeah, but the chance of actual, death is constantly getting lower. So yeah, it's definitely weird to be able to race at 160 miles per hour and not be able to drive, to McDonald's. Yeah.
yeah. You could hit these turns like, like there's nobody's business, and you can't even go and get a large fry at McDonald's. That is a little ironic. Rick, you can take.
So that was what I was going to ask you. I see these bikes, man. These are some powerful bikes. Like, what's the fastest they go? 160, 170?
The top class in Moto America it's 1,000. So it's pretty much the biggest sport bike you can get off production, and then they just take them and they build them to the moon. And I think you can get those bikes to 200, but the average mile per hour, like at VIR, the bikes down the straightaway were doing easy 180, 185.
Yeah,
man, that is that is. Yeah. And I've seen motocross, but I've also seen, like, in Europe. Now, have you thought about maybe in the future going to Europe and doing it as well?
Oh yeah, over in the States, Moto America is pretty much as big as it gets, and you can definitely make a large career and really get your name out there, just going through the ranks and just riding with Moto America.
Yeah.
But there is a world stage. MotoGP is pretty much as big as it'll ever get. And I'd love to go over there and race and, try to become the best one day. But really my goal in racing is to just get my name out there, have a good career with Moto America. And then eventually I'd like to start maybe academy or just a program to help younger kids like myself come up through the riding and stuff like that.
What about helping, like, older people like myself and Mike who don't know how to ride a bike? And just
I ain't getting on a motorcycle.
Yeah, I mean, I ain't getting on one either, but
I don't even want to go 20, and you're over there saying, you could crash, you could get hurt.
No big deal.
Go 160, no big deal. I don't even want to go 20.
I don't even ski.
I mean, I don't care. I might sound like a little scaredy cat, I guess, but no. That's not me. So more power to you.
Yeah, man.
Doing this, since since 6 years old, and now competing at a pro level. Talk to us, like the races, like what kind of like purses are there? Like the prize money, pay out the top like 3, 4, 5.
Well, I'm not honestly sure. I know in the top levels there's definitely a pretty good amount of money to be won, but in terms of Junior Cup, there's this, you can get contingency, which is where the actual brand that makes your motorcycle will pay you if you go out and place in top 5, I think it is. But how much that is, I honestly don't know.
So I knew this and I was going to bring it up, but Matt says right now you're looking for additional sponsors for you to continue racing professionally. And Matt right now is giving you a limited edition trading card. If you want to plop it up on the screen again.
Yeah. Take a look
This
at
card right here, it's holographic. It's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Matt and Ticket Time Machine did a great job on it.
That's dope. Yeah, that's cool.
And you just reach out to him. Look up the Wolf Den. He was on Matt's show a couple of weeks ago, and that's how we connected. Any donation of $25 or more will get you a signed limited edition trading card. And I think you got a sponsor. I'll talk to Matt. About that. So yeah, I think it's a pretty sweet card, man. And you know what, to support you, in what you're doing, it's nice to see, you're 14 years old and you have these grand ambitions, and in this day and age, like I'm a parent. And like I see like what kids nowadays are, they're in their phones and they're doing all this other stuff, and you're sitting there practicing for 8 years to go pro in motorcycle road racing, and it's completely admirable. And obviously I wish you the best of luck when with everything in your career, and anything that we can do. Hopefully you coming on here, some people are going to see it. When is the next race that you're looking to get in for?
Well, the next pro race for Moto America is in Wisconsin. I think it's actually this weekend. Oh, nice. But sadly, due to some funding and some other things, I'm not going to be able to make it. And I think after Wisconsin, it goes way west. It goes all the way to Washington State. So that was pretty much like out of the picture for us anyway. It's our first year. We're not trying to go all the way
across country. Yeah.
But there's a couple more rounds in the next couple of months in like Alabama and Pittsburgh and New Jersey. Yeah, it's a good one. That I'd love to get to, and then hopefully just get my feet wet in pro racing this year, and then next year I want to go full in and actually compete for the championship. Yeah.
And like, Keagan, do you have like a whole team? Like, it's how many guys are on your team?
So with BartCon, we have 2 mechanics, a rider coach. Right now we have 3 riders. I get so confused. We have 3 riders. 2 mechanics, 3 riders. One of our mechanics is Dale Quarterly. He's a huge name in the racing community. He actually helps me out with coaching, with riding. And then the team owner, he helps out a lot of stuff. And then there's a couple other guys who just kind of swing by and help. It's pretty cool. It's really weird for me because up until now, it's always just been me and my dad in a pickup truck. And it's actually a really hard thing to learn. You got to come in, you got to tell them what's happening with the bike, so you can be faster. It's a language that you have to learn. It's crazy.
And how often are you riding, like practicing and riding like every day?
That would be my dream, but money says otherwise. We ride as much as we can. Couple times a month right now for me, which if you tell that to any other rider, they're going to freak out because that's a really long distance. We'd love to be riding every weekend or even some of the weekdays, but hopefully we can raise some funding to get our own personal bike for this year, because we had to sell last year's bike to help fund this year. So hopefully we can raise some funding to get that on its way, and then we can ride, pretty much whenever, because the bikes that I ride, they're still small enough that we can go to a parking lot and do some basic drills.
And just I just want to like in the profession, obviously in the industry or the sport, is it a lot of guys have to self-fund to get themselves off their feet to go pro?
Oh yeah, it's definitely an expensive sport. And sometimes if someone asks you, well, what do you do, and then you tell them how much it costs, they'll freak out. It's crazy. It's a big step to go from club racing to professional. It's a learning experience.
Well, I mean, God bless you, man. I mean, keep up the great work. It's incredible.
Hey.
And I assume that every race is a different type of, I guess, buy-in, so to speak.
Yes. Yes or not.
Like, say this, like the New Jersey one, like how much would you need to raise to race in that?
Well, for junior, it depends on what series you ride with Moto America. For Junior Cup, you just got to get your license, and then whether or not you're on a team really decides how much money you have to spend. But if you're doing it on your own, just you and a bike and maybe a couple more people, I say it won't set you back, but $4,000 or so per weekend, which sounds like tons. But if you go say that number to anyone that rides with a team, they'll be like, "Oh, that's easy." But yeah,
$4,000 a weekend to ride because you need gas and all that. Wow, man, that's tough.
Yeah. And I'll actually, my dad, I just kind of ride the motorcycle. My dad handles all.
He's the manager. The manager's in the back.
Yeah, he could probably answer some of these questions. But yeah, it's crazy expensive.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it definitely pays off because when you pay that price, and especially if you're on a team and you end up having to pay that team, you pay for tons of time with mechanics and tons of track time. So it definitely pays to be on a team, but it's also, an expensive ride. So yeah.
Yeah.
Well, listen, man.
Dad back there, great job.
Great job, Dad.
You're raising a kid that, he's got all these goals and ambitions, and I'm sure it makes you proud for sure.
For sure. He clearly doesn't understand the dollar amounts though.
Yeah, well, that comes with age a little bit, He doesn't know the importance of how to make the money first, but eventually he'll get there.
He understands the importance of the money. He's just a little off on his figures. Our deal with this current team is about $6,600 per round. Plus, we're responsible for crash damage, and we're responsible to get there and stay there. So, gas in our vehicle, a hotel room, et cetera, et cetera.
All right. Well,
gotcha.
I mean,
It makes sense.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I'm definitely gonna speak to Matt, shoot him over that $25 for that trading card for sure. Just to do a little something, maybe see what I could swing by. And then down the line, you're a little too young for playing the field to sponsor you, but down the line, our sports fan dating app, after you're 18, definitely want to get a patch on that on that jacket of yours when we get there.
Yeah.
Well, Keagan, thanks a lot, man. Thanks for coming on tonight. It's great. Great work. Sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Tell everybody where they could find you and find more information and how they can help out.
Yeah, so you can find me pretty much on any social media platform, either at Keagan Brown Racing or at Rowdy's Racing. If you want to, reach us, you can get me at teamkbr17@gmail.com, or you can message us on any of those social media platforms. We'll pretty much get back to you anytime. If you want to donate anything to me, we have a PayPal and Venmo. I believe my PayPal is rowdysracingteam@gmail.com. Or Venmo is teamkbr17@gmail.com. And just reach out to us anytime. We're more than happy to talk to you and even help you out if you're looking to get into racing. Yeah.
And also, Keagan, where can we watch the races? Like, if we wanted to watch it on TV or so, can we watch them?
Moto America is doing a lot more with actual live TV this year, but the main way you can watch it is through Moto America Live Plus, which is an actual app. It is subscription based, but it's an amazing deal because you get all these races and practices and their actual kind of behind the scenes series stuff.
Okay.
Awesome.
That's great.
Awesome. And look at you. I mean, 14 years old. You're pretty good with PR, man. I must say, you know.
I tell you, man, we've had to work on it a lot this year, just from like reaching out to companies and phone calls and Zoom calls. It's a learning curve, man. This year has been crazy.
Oh, certainly, but you're doing a good job, and you're on the right road.
Absolutely.
I guess is the best way to say it. But thank you again for coming on.
Yeah.
We wish you the best of luck, and keep us posted on on everything. And obviously, we're following you on social as well, so we're gonna keep our tabs on what you got going on. Best of luck going forward for sure, and you're always welcome here anytime to give us some updates.
Of course.
All right. Have a good night.
And thanks, Dad. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, and thanks, Mr. Brown. Great job.
Thanks,
have a good night, everybody.
We really appreciate it. Any opportunity to get the word out.
Yeah, anytime you want to come on, let us know.
Absolutely. It was our pleasure. Thank you very much. Have a good night.
Have a good night.
Bye-bye.
Man, that kid.
Ambition. I love it. I love
He's fearless, man. I mean, if you can get on a bike and go 180 miles an hour, you have no problem talking to the CEO of a company.
Like, he was very nonchalant. Hey, you could go 160. Yeah, you could go around a turn. Yeah, you could crash. Yeah, you get a couple of scuffs. No. I got red alert hitting my head. But hey, I mean, that's the mentality you have to have, though. Especially if you're going to be in that type of an industry.
Yeah.
That's something that you can't be scared of. If you're scared of it, then then you're gonna drive scared, and then you're gonna get really hurt when you're driving scared. But damn, I mean, good job on his part.
Yeah,
it's amazing to see what he's doing at just 14, and I'm getting myself a limited edition card.
There you go.
I mean, that's pretty slick.
Yeah,
that holographic.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Facebook
So
user.
basically, what you're saying is getting on a bike just for a test run is out of the question.
Yeah, I'm not even. No. I missed this one. Dad tried to get him to be a skateboarder, but it worked out. It worked out. It worked out at the end. It was a great kid, and he's got a good head on his shoulders.
Man, that's expensive though, man.
But at 14 years old, I mean, his PR skills were pretty good.
Pretty good. Well, listen, he's been talking to CEOs and stuff.
Of course, but think about some other 14-year-olds.
He's a natural.
Of course, he's been doing he's been putting in the laps, so to speak. So yeah, best of luck to Keagan.
Absolutely.
So let's touch on
shift gears
some more news. So speaking about young up and comers, the Green Bay Packers drafted a quarterback last year in the name of Jordan Love in the first round.
Yeah,
and it did. Obviously, it didn't sit well with the fans of Green Bay. It didn't sit well with a lot of people. Aaron Rodgers may or may not have been a little sour about it. Rodgers isn't showing up to mandatory camp and practices. And Jordan Love today says that he will definitely be ready to start week 1.
I mean, look.
Bold statement.
Bold.
And if he's going out there and he's saying that, are we going to see Aaron Rodgers throwing the football for Green Bay in week 1?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's just a PR stunt.
No, I just think Jordan Love is asked. I think
he obviously has to say he's going to be ready if his number is called.
And here's the other thing: we don't know what's going to happen with Aaron Rodgers, right? He doesn't know, but he's got to prepare. So they're asking,
Yeah.
"Hey, are you ready for week 1?" He's going to say, "Yeah, I'm ready for week 1," and good for him. Standing up there and saying that. Here's the thing: we don't know what's going to happen to Aaron Rodgers. We do know this: Deshaun Watson has come out and said that he wants to go to Denver.
Yeah.
So you can, right then and there. You can pretty much, if his legal problems clear up. I don't know if he's going to play this season or not, but if his legal problems clear up between now and kickoff, which is in 3 months in September, I just don't see where the Packers are going to send them. San Francisco, they just drafted Trey Lance. Denver, Deshaun Watson wants to go over there. So where's he going to go? He's going to stay with the Packers. This is about money. He wants to sign an extension. They're going to give him an extension. They're probably going to give him whatever he wants. And so be it. But, and he's got to be, listen, Aaron's got to stop being a little sensitive too. Yeah, they drafted a quarterback.
Agreed.
But you're being now you're just being like a little baby, dude. Jesus, man.
Just say it. I don't have to say baby.
Yeah, man. You're like a bitch, dude. Look, they drafted a quarterback. Yes, was it disrespectful to an all-time player? Yeah. Did they consult you? They didn't have to. At everyday jobs, they don't consult people about people they're hiring and coming in or whatever. And so, they consult. And this notion that the Packers didn't have a wide receiver. Look, man, they went to the NFC Championship game. They had 3 shots in the end zone. They couldn't get it in. You can blame the corner for getting burned, okay, and you can blame their defense. But Tampa Bay started gaining momentum and it was starting to get on a roll. They were just not going to be stopped. But you had your shot, so you can't blame him for not getting your talent. So I just think Aaron, honestly, he's just got to let this go.
Rodgers is over in wherever he was a couple weeks ago with his fiance, Shailene Woodley, I believe, and Miles Teller, something like that. They're all just having a blast and by some waterfall, and that's that's his main priority at this point in time. And like you said, Deshaun Watson wants to go to Denver, and it's really a matter that obviously the draft capital that Denver's going to have to send over, or or Bridgewater. Bridgewater's there, right? I don't think they're gonna. I don't know. I don't think they're gonna.
But Teddy's not. Look, man. He was. If he was that type of quarterback, he would have stayed with the Saints after Breeze retired. He would have stayed in Carolina after. After the season. But the Panthers drafted trade for Sam Darnold, and I don't know if you saw some of the quotes today or some of the Sam Darnold. It's not looking promising over there for Sam. People are a little iffy about him in the OTAs. So, we'll see how that's going to play out. But
speaking of iffy and OTAs, we had Trevor Lawrence throwing pick sixes, and some hamstring issues. Tebow,
no. What are you insane?
Tebow time?
No,
Tebow time?
Tim Tebow can't play quarterback.
I know, but Tim Tebow definitely would have been playing center field
a
couple of weeks ago.
Let me tell you something. If Tim Tebow plays quarterback and Colin Kaepernick is still not playing, that's an absolute disgrace. Colin Kaepernick has a rocket of an arm. He's led a team to a Super Bowl. No, I'm sorry. That's just my opinion. I know many people might not agree with it, but Tim Tebow does not deserve to be behind center on any team.
Do I think Colin Kaepernick should play? Yes.
Yeah,
he has to be okay with signing a contract for a third string quarterback.
Yeah, give him the league minimum. That's fine.
But he doesn't want it. He wants
that kind of money.
He wants a guaranteed contract with starting money, and that's just not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. It doesn't really matter. Doesn't really matter who you are, and
he's got to sign as a backup.
He can't. You can't demand money that one of the premier quarterbacks in the league can demand, especially not being out of the league this long. At this point, Tim Tebow had to change his sport multiple times and his position just to get signed at a bare minimum for a third string tight end that he may or may not even make a team by the time all the cuts are said and done.
Right.
So if Kaepernick's going to be okay with making a couple of shekels to try out and make it through cuts, then so be it. But that's not really the route he wanted to take.
I think he'll land on a team. He's got to come. He's going to come in as a backup. He's got to come in as a backup.
That's the only option, and he could usurp somebody, of course.
Yeah, he could. I don't think at this point in his career he's going to. Right. but he still has a cannon for an arm. He still can move. Listen, right now the Jets don't have a backup. They got two guys who just can't play. James Morgan, I don't know why they drafted him. That was a waste of a fourth rounder. And I don't know who the other guy is. But if you can't get Nick Foles, you can't get Gardner Minshew, and he's sitting out there, bring him in, sign him to a minimum contract, or sign him to a contract that's worthy of a backup.
Hey,
and have backup Zach.
Wherever he goes, as long as he's going somewhere to add depth to a roster,
that's
you know.
Yeah, that's fine.
Even like the Saints, like there's still no clear cut.
No, the Saints. I don't know what the Saints are going to do with
quarterback. There, you know, I mean, you got Winston and you got Hill. It's like it's so like I'm not sold on either one of them.
I don't know. We'll wait and see. But I mean, this is going to be the first year that Sean Payton's going to have to literally create magic and come up with some schemes, because Jameis Winston is going to go out there. He's going to give you 30 touchdowns, but he's also going to give you 25 picks. You know. So
I mean, that's what he does.
That's what he does. That's Jameis Winston. He's reckless with the football. He's going to turn the ball over. And so I'm curious to see whether Sean Payton is going to bring somebody else in. I mean, eventually they got to think about drafting somebody, you know. But you're right. I mean, New Orleans would be a nice spot for him to, Colin Kaepernick, give him a shot. Go down there and let him try out.
Yeah. And, back to that Watson, if the legal stuff gets cleared up and they could try and figure out a trade where Watson ends up in Denver, how exciting would the AFC West look?
My God.
We got Mahomes, Watson, Herbert. Carr, and Herbert. And Carr, who's the odd one out in that foursome?
Yeah, David Carr.
I mean, that's
crazy. That will be the best. I'm sorry.
David Carr or Derek Carr?
Derek Carr, I'm sorry.
Derek Carr, yeah.
Quarterback-wise, that would be the funnest division and the most exciting division and the one you want to watch. It'll be just
you want to watch that.
Away
and that's 8. That's that's twice a year for each of those matchups.
Yeah, and
that's game of the week every week.
Yeah,
in the AFC West.
And I know Mahomes is the guy everybody wants to watch, and Watson, but this kid Herbert. Watching him just drop back and throw 80-yard bombs, who doesn't want to watch that? I think it's great.
It was funny. I follow the Chargers on Facebook.
Yeah.
Because I'm a closet Chargers fan.
Yes,
but
we're aware. You're also a closet Giants fan.
But there was an article that said, how is Justin Herbert picking up the new offense? And the caption on top of it was with his ridiculously strong arms. Next question.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's pretty good.
It's crazy, man.
That was a pretty good quip from the Chargers. They got a good little social media team going over there. That's it was fun. But yeah, I mean, I'm excited for Herbert in year 2. I want to see what he can do. Yeah, the defense needs to keep them in games a little bit more.
Well, I think with Bosa back there, they got Derwin James. I think defensively they're going to be okay.
They're going to win one against the Chiefs, correct?
Oh yeah, I think that's
at least.
Yeah,
At least.
Absolutely. Listen, the Chiefs have problems on the defensive side.
If Denver doesn't have Watson, they win both.
Yes. I don't see. Drew Lock,
and I think they beat the Raiders at least once.
Yeah, Drew Lock. I feel like Drew Lock is. And
they got Bridgewater too.
Yeah, he lied to me.
But I'm curious to see where his sophomore year takes him. Is it going to go? On the backward trend, or is it going to go?
Well, listen, we are 7 weeks away from training camp, and I'm excited. We got OTAs. You got mandatory mini camp starting next week for 3 days, at least for the Jets, the 15th to the 17th. And then we have 1, 2, and then 6 weeks. So right now we're about 8 weeks till training camp, and I am excited. I am excited for the season. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, and
got to get my jerseys, my Elijah Moore.
Speaking about football real quick, the Mets won with a football score 14-1. I guess it's not really a football score with the 1 in there, and your Yankees are up 8-1.
Yeah, I think
in the 5th. So the Yankees bats are waking up, and I don't know how the Mets got another 6 runs, but got to imagine some kind of home runs in there and the Yankees got another 6 runs from the last time we spoke as well.
That's
So,
good.
and it's 4-2 for the Islanders right now. 2 minutes left in the third period. 2 minutes and 20 seconds left. So hopefully they could stave off for the next few minutes without giving up 2 goals, and the Islanders can hypothetically close it out and move on. So we'll keep our fingers crossed there. The Nets are on fire, up 2-0 against the Bucks.
That's a good title. That's a win in the NBA.
With the Lakers out, and the Lakers didn't really have a chance. I mean, we were so wrong in the beginning of the season.
Yeah,
but there was a lot of injuries, and
Anthony Davis can't stay healthy.
And then you had the Hawks and the Sixers have a nice little series going on. The Hawks took game 1. The Sixers last night took game 2, and their series is tied. Joel Embiid walking out with Triple H yesterday, doing some DX, suck it taunts, and Triple H is sitting there with a sledgehammer ringing the bell. It's kind of fun to see. I guess Triple H is a Sixers fan. I guess, right?
Yeah,
but that was fun. I'm bringing a little wrestling into the NBA, and I mean, it's sports entertainment, right? That's what they do, right?
Absolutely.
Minute 20 4-2. Yeah. So looking good for the Islanders right now. David Ortiz had surgery, so for stomach hernia stemming from that shooting a couple of years ago. So we wish him the best on all of his recovery. What else we got?
I think that's it.
I think we pretty much covered
it all.
Covered it all. Well, Mets are rolling with this win today. Have a day off tomorrow, and then they go right back. They go back home, to pack out the house on Friday night. DeGrom versus the Padres. I think DeGrom's starting, so should be a lot of fun. Oh yeah, actually, yesterday, 11 years ago, DeGrom was drafted in the 9th round, 272nd overall. There was just a million articles about it yesterday, but it's just crazy to see that even 271 players went before DeGrom from this shortstop turned pitcher for 1 year, and then nobody knew it. But talking about the analytics that you love, I don't think that analytics played into this one. I think it was pure human.
You just saw a guy who throws 100 miles an hour and can control it.
No, he was only throwing at that time. He was throwing around 93 for his fastball.
All right, well, whatever.
And now he's going up. He's going up every year. He goes up like a mile per hour, and now it's just a beast. His average speed now is 98.2 or something like that.
He's a human cyborg. He's a human pitching cyborg. That's what he is.
I didn't know 0.62 ERA through 9 starts is the best since 1913. Did you know that?
Yeah.
My goodness.
He's good.
That's more than 100 years ago. That's how old we are. The 1913 was more than 100 years ago.
Crazy, right?
Yeah. All right.
All right.
Till next week, everybody. It's 5-2 with 59 seconds left for the Islanders. So congratulations to the Islanders. And we will see you all next week, Monday night. Great guest in store. Have a great night.
Peace, everybody.